and Arcadia's with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, or online at hurlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They even have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Garrett Wellbrock.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 KLOE and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
Denver with the blitz on the way. Ball deflected by Nick Bonito, and the Broncos win it.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
IdeaTech Fiber Internet, Topside Portables and Pumping, The Insurance Agency, Pest Away, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinner, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
And good morning, everybody. We're welcome you in here to the Morning Blitz on Rocket 102.5 KLOE. I'm Garrett Wellbrock, Lucas Kenny, as we're happy to have you along with us here this morning on a Tuesday. As man, what a nice night it was last night. Finally, the storms kind of stayed away, a little less, of course, than what we've had from the past couple of nights over the weekend. But how are you doing today, Lucas?
Not doing too bad. We did have some a storm pass through here in Goodland, but nothing too much more than just some heavy rain and some thunder and lightning. So pretty thankful for another fairly tame night of severe weather. Thankfully, of course, so one night I'm not working. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, thankfully, just really needed the rain, and that's fortunately just kind of what we got last night.
Yeah, the high in the mid 70s today. Cloudy. There was a little rain I saw this morning. A little damp on the ground when I came into work, but yeah, it's definitely a little more calm than what it has been here the last several days. Once again, welcome you in here on this Tuesday morning. Our F&B Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. And then we have the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream going up right now on Facebook, YouTube, and X, so you can tune in over there. And also a reminder, the Colin Ray concert with Walker Montgomery opening, that is on Saturday, June 27th. Make sure to get your tickets at nwksradio.net, or you can always pop in at the radio stations either in Goodland or here in Colby. And Joel was actually texting me earlier today to remind everyone it is Ticket Tuesday. So you could come into the station and get your tickets that way as well. But we'll take any day, honestly. If you want to come in Wednesday, Thursday, just do it. You know, we're trying to get these tickets sold, and so it's going to be a great concert. Are you excited for this concert? Because I am.
This will be my first concert I've ever attended. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. And I've heard plenty of great things about Colin Ray, a whole bunch of different hits. He's been nominated for Male Artist of the Year many, many times. So I'm very excited for this, as well as for Walker Montgomery to start the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear a lot of things. So this is actually John Michael Montgomery's son. So he had a lot of hits back. I think it was maybe the 70s or 80s. I'm not exactly sure what time frame he had a lot of hits, but anyways, he was really popular, and this is actually his son. So apparently he's going to be bringing some of his dad's hits as well as some of his, as he released an album, I believe, just a couple of weeks ago. So going to kind of debut that here. It's going to be a fun one. That's at the Colby Event Center. Make sure to get your tickets. We've got a good Tuesday show planned for today. Of course, College World Series, we'll break that down here in our first segment, as well as just kind of a reset of the college sports season, because it is over now, completely wrapped up with the game 3 last night between Oklahoma and North Carolina, which is good for us, by the way.
Yes.
In the picks, both of us had OU, and they just took it to that North Carolina team last night.
Yeah, was it 13-2? Was that the final score? Man, in the final game 3 of the College World Series, and you win 13-2. That's that's outstanding. But none of the games were close in this series. Oklahoma beat North Carolina in the game one by, was it 5 or 6 runs, I believe. And the second game, I think North Carolina took it maybe again by 6 or 7 runs, I believe. And then again, now 11 runs in the final game 3. So congratulations to Oklahoma. Still not saying they're saying, but yeah, it's very, very good for us there on our weekend picks.
Yeah, and then NBA draft night is tonight. That is going to be at 7 p.m. if you want to tune in over on ABC. Of course, we'll break down who do we think is going to go number 1. It's kind of a toss-up between 2 or 3 guys right now. Of course, you got Darren Peterson, Kansas star guard. He's going to go in the top 3 probably, but we'll break all that down. And then we'll finally have our first guest between us two, if he shows up. He's in Oregon, so it's going to be 6:30 when he joins at the bottom of the hour. But Will Jeske from Nebraska baseball, yeah, he's playing summer ball. Found that out in Oregon right now. So we'll see. Hopefully he's up. He texted me this morning, but hopefully he joins. And then we've got another edition of Trivia Tuesday. You're going to be joining us every Tuesday when Ross is back to do this. But I don't know if many people remember the 3 up, 3 down type segment. It'll kind of be similar to that, but it'll just be us racking off some trivia questions. I got some exciting ones. I don't know about you.
I think I got some. I'm going to test a little bit of your Mariners knowledge. Bit. So
okay.
We'll see.
All right. Well, now I'm a little nervous. About it. Also on the Hurl GMC video stream, I have decorated my space a little bit.
Yes, I see that.
We got some Colby up behind me, a couple of jerseys, like a softball, baseball, some basketball, and then got a Chiefs sign too. So I finally feel a little more settled in here.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to get some stuff up in my studio for the Good Neighbor Hour. I mean, it's looking a little bare at the moment. So, and man, you've been on it, and you've been here for way less time than I have. So.
Well, everybody's been on me a little bit. They're like, you got to decorate the room. You know, it just looked like I had been told it looked like a dungeon in a way.
That's fair. I'm not on a show with a video stream. So
yeah.
That is a fair point.
All right, so let's get into our first segment. Our first segment is brought to you by R&R Customs. With all the storm activity, do you need new gutters? Here's your excuse to finally get it done and support Goodland High School at the same time. Call R&R Custom Building, your 2 local football coaches and construction guys, Mike and Dax Reese. With more than 20 gutter color options and the experience to get your home looking right, R&R Custom Building is ready to help protect your home and get it looking right. So we're going to start here with the college season reset and a College World Series rundown kind of what we saw from last night and then just throughout the whole season's football, basketball, and baseball. And I want to start with just kind of the whole sports season in general, Lucas. What were your overall thoughts? We had a lot of different champions kind of go through. We saw Indiana in football, Michigan in basketball, now Oklahoma in the baseball side, and Texas in the softball realm of things. What were your overall thoughts just on the entire college season?
Man, it's kind of nice seeing some different faces here. And in all honesty, well, for one of them, I can't quite attribute it to, but NIL has kind of changed that because now it's more so based on who can pay the players the most money instead of which school offers you the best program. That's kind of unfortunate. That's a whole other topic. But that's kind of how it is. And the one case, of course, I'm talking about is Indiana going undefeated, winning the national championship in football. That really can't be attributed to NIL much because I don't think Indiana really had that much NIL money spent on their team. Definitely not even in the top 10. So that was pretty incredible to see them. And I feel like that's one of the high points because in this era of college sports where players can make up millions of dollars and you see a team coached by Curt Cignetti that did not even, like I mentioned, probably even the top 20 NIL spent, come in undefeated. Fernando Mendoza, what a story he is. Their whole team coming in, rallying behind him, winning the national championship against Miami. That was honestly one of my high points of the season. And then, of course, Michigan coming in, winning the national championship for basketball. That was pretty amazing as well. Oklahoma coming in. I heard in your sportscast this morning, coming in ranked 14th in the SEC, and then end up as national champions.
Mm-hmm.
Also an incredible story there too. So overall, this sports season, while there is a whole bunch of things that need to be addressed regarding NIL and paying players, I still think it was a pretty good college season.
Absolutely. I'm with you too. I love the parity we're getting right now in college sports when it comes to different teams winning. We haven't seen Michigan win a basketball title in a long time. Haven't seen Indiana win a football title. And then baseball, first time since '94 for Oklahoma to win the College World Series. Like, we're getting a lot of parity in the national champions. But the only thing that I think people want to see more of are, like, in March Madness, are the upsets. We want to see Cinderellas, and I don't think we're going to get much of that right now with the way the NIL is, because we are seeing, really outside of OU and Indiana. You mentioned they didn't have the top on NIL, but they did definitely have some, especially after that first year of Signetti. But it's pretty much pay to play at this point. I mean, Michigan spent the most money in the offseason, and they obviously had the best team, best season. So that's the one concern I have coming into this future is, like, what do the mid-majors and some of the smaller schools have to offer? Because NIL has just changed so much. And me and Ross have talked about that plenty of times here on this show about kind of how it has ruined the sport. I'm not saying players shouldn't get paid, but it's definitely been a very hot topic because we're not seeing necessarily the upsets and some of the mid-majors able to even compete at times when you look into the college season. Once again, the conferences are reshaping next year. The Mountain West is kind of deformed a little bit. The Pac-12 is making kind of a resurgence. What do you take of that? It's not the Pac-12 of old by any means, but they did get some teams to kind of help Oregon State and Washington State out.
So, in my opinion, I want more conferences. I don't want just 4 big conferences, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and then, of course, the Pac-12. I want more conferences because then you get more disparities in conference championships. You get possibly some different chances for playoffs. You get more teams in there. You can get better competition. And when you just got to have 3-4 conferences with 14 to 16 teams each, it's just it's not great. And that's kind of what I like about the NFL is because they've got, of course, the conferences, and then they have the divisions. There we go. Divisions and then conferences. Am I right?
I think the Big Ten has taken out divisions. They did have divisions, but now that they have the super conference or the 18 teams, they have taken out divisions, which is kind of interesting because, like, now in football, you'll get 2 teams in like, or you might have a 3-way or 4-way tie for the Big Ten championship. How do you really determine that? Because sometimes they don't even play each other for like a head-to-head. So makes it interesting when you look at that side of things. Back to the college football, I believe that they need to shorten the season, or not shorten the season, but the postseason. Like, I just want to read these dates here for you on the college football postseason. So Friday, December 18th and Saturday, December 19th here this year is when the first round on-campus sites will be played. And then we have a week and a half off where they play on the 30th of December and New Year's Day for the quarterfinals. And then 2 weeks off for the semifinals. And then a week and a half off for the championship game. The championship game is January 25th. I mean, that is just unbelievable. I can't believe we have stretched the season out that long. I want to see that thing shortened because by the time the college football national championship is going on, you're already focused on the NFL playoffs. Like, I don't know. I don't know about you. I'm a little checked out at that point. I mean, I love the college football playoff, but it's like, why don't we just keep these games week by week, Saturday? I know you don't want to conflict with the NFL, but like, you will be the prime time thing if it's on Saturday and it's that day. And I think it should be done maybe January 1st or maybe the second week of January.
Yeah, I'm going to totally agree with you here. I don't understand why they decided to put a week and a half to 2 weeks between each round, because you also ruin a lot of momentum that teams can gain. They can cool off tremendously in a week and a half. And I mean, between those times, you've got holidays as well. So players are going to be taking time off. And it's also it's not going to be great for ratings, kind of like you said, because people are just going to be tuned out of the college football season by that point. One thing that the NFL does really well is when they get right into playoffs, it's week after week, except for the Super Bowl. They get an extra week in there to prepare with the Pro Bowl and everything. And then when college football is before the NFL, not just necessarily like right before, when it has its own like December, that's kind of what I want. I want December to be college football playoff time. That's kind of how, in my mind, I want it to work. I want it to be December's college football playoff time. January, February is NFL playoff football time. In my mind, that's just how I want it to work. And it's not benefiting the players or the teams at all either. So that is something I'm in total agreement with you.
Well, and we keep seeing like these players that are, I saw as a Bo Perbula, the Penn State backup quarterback a couple years ago. He had to leave the team. They were in the college football playoffs. He knew he wasn't going to start the next season, and he wanted to transfer. He goes to Missouri and becomes their starting quarterback. But he wanted to transfer, and he didn't want to leave Penn State, but he had to because of those rules, because the transfer portal window is literally in the middle of the college football playoffs. If you end it on the 1st or maybe the 8th, whatever you want to be, like in between those dates, you can have the transfer portal after that, and they can still make it to their second semester classes. That's the whole point, because they have to be enrolled in the school for the second semester. Yeah, it's just a total nightmare the way the schedule is, and I hate it, and it sounds like you hate it as well. It's just not been – that's the one change I would love to see moving forward to this next season. It's not going to happen, obviously, 26, 27, but maybe the next year, 27, 20. I think enough people are kind of fed up by this, because it doesn't feel like college football should be still going on late January. That's NFL's time.
Yeah, no, definitely totally agree. One thing I wanted to hit on for things of note that I would like to see changed is kind of going to more the track and field route. So I was back home during the NCAA Division I national championships. What I want to see more of, and I don't know, maybe this is just because I was a thrower in college, really like the throws. I want to see more TV time for the field events, for the jumps, for the throws, for things like that. I've always complained about that. Me and my teammates always have, because it just doesn't feel like they get enough love. And some of those guys are some of the best athletes as well. Some of those guys are going to go on to the Olympics. I should say guys and gals. They're going to move on to the Olympics. They're going to do great things. But it just feels like there's a lot more focus and attention that gets put on the running events. And I mean, credit to them. Obviously, they're really entertaining. They get great TV views. That's probably the main reason why they continue having all of the running events on the TV mainly. But that's kind of one of the things that I'd like to see changed when it comes to TV wise, what is being put out there. And that goes for like professional and everything like that too. That's just kind of my own personal opinion on that. But I do feel like there's a lot of people that would agree with me, just because there are people that are fans of those field events. And when I was watching, I actually had a friend who was a teammate at Cloud. He plays third nationally in the discus. I didn't get to watch any of his throws because they had already gone, but they showed the highlights of them. And it's kind of like I would have rather have just watched that competition. So that's just kind of one thing that I kind of wanted to hit on.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of got to move forward here now to the College World Series rundown, and I just want to real quickly play the call from Carl Ravitch of when the Sooners got it done.
Yes, sir. That's it. And Boomer Sooner baseball in a blowout wins the national championship 13-2 over Carolina.
Well, you mentioned just a dominant performance, and right there, 13-2 final. They hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 8th inning to pretty much slam the door. Not like it wasn't over at that point anyway, up by 8 runs, but to then go up 11. Just what were your first initial thoughts when you saw that final score at 13-2?
You know, I didn't get to watch most of the game. And then I kind of was seeing some highlights and stuff, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Oklahoma's doing pretty good. I'll bet North Carolina's responding. And then I go and check Instagram again, and I see the final score of 13-2. And I'm like, this was the College World Series final, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy cow. Oklahoma got hot at the right time, white hot. And they took down KU, who was also white hot. They just happened to be hotter, I guess. They dominated KU in that series. Oklahoma was pretty dominant throughout this entire thing. So it's not like it was that huge of a surprise, but at the same time, it was the College World Series final. You don't expect to see an 11-point blowout. And then especially that last pitch, you can't
Right
go
down the
out
middle.
looking right down the middle. That was just so rough. And I know that guy he hasn't slept since then. But yeah, it was very surprising, but not surprising at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. First national championship since '94 for the Sooners. They were picked 14th in the SEC in the preseason, and now they are the national champions. The College World Series MVP, Jackson Willits. Kyle Branch had 6 RBIs last night, so congratulations to the Sooners. A lot of Sooners fans that get to celebrate this after, kind of a disappointing football and basketball year for them. They get to celebrate with a World Series title. All right, we're going to move on to the second part here of our opening segment. The NBA draft is tonight. Mentioned that you can watch that 7 p.m. over on ABC. I think the big storylines for this one coming in is where will Darren Peterson land? That's kind of a big question mark because not many people know if he's going to go number 1. Is he number 2? I think that's been the consensus right now, number 2. But there are still some concerns with what last season happened for the Jayhawks, where he really didn't play much. The cramping and all that stuff, according to the creatine, is what apparently that ended up being. But yeah, where do you think Darren Peterson's going to land here? As he's definitely going to get drafted, obviously tonight, but probably pretty early. He's going to probably stay in the top 5. But where do you think he lands?
Yeah, so I'm not thinking a Shedeur Sanders situation is going to happen, but I think realistically he goes 2 or 3. I don't think he goes 1. I think that's going to go to BYU's DeBonsta. I think that's where that's going to go. But I think Darren Peterson realistically, goes 2 or 3, and I think he might be a good fit for the Utah Jazz. So that's where I've kind of got him. With my extremely extensive knowledge here of the NBA, I think he's a pretty good fit here for the Utah Jazz. So, in my opinion, he goes 2, and if not 2, then I think he goes 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go number 2 to the Jazz. I think that's where he lands tonight. That's kind of where everybody has him. I looked at like 7 or 8 different mock drafts this morning, and he was literally number 2 every single time, with number 1 being DeBonsa. And so that's definitely like one of those deals you don't really see that often. We already know who the 1-2 guys are going to be with Peterson, but this is such a deep draft class. I mean, I'm telling you what, I think if you have even a top 14 or 15 pick, you're going to get somebody really good. Also to note, the Washington Wizards, they're the ones who have the draft lottery pick. So they won the lottery. They're going number 1 in the draft. And I think they just signed Trae Young. That's something to note as well. They just signed Trae Young to a big deal, maybe even an overpay. But do they really want Darren Peterson, who's a really ball-dominant guard, to play with another ball-dominant guard? And that's where I think that's where AJ DeBonsa is going to land in the number 1 overall pick, personally. And you kind of agree with that. So DeBonsa seems to be the consensus number 1. We will find out, obviously, tonight. But definitely going to be something interesting to watch. And we want to transition now to this. Let's get a quick top 5. You got your top 5. Let's start from the top. Who you got going number 5? We'll start number 1 because obviously you mentioned it's probably DeBonsa, correct?
Yes, sir. That's what I've got going number 1. I mean, he's just incredible. Really good shot creator. Thank you to Yahoo Sports for some of these notes here, by the way. 6'9". He's just what an excellent forward. He's super dominant. And I think that's exactly kind of what the Wizards need here. Looking at their players, looking at their stats from this last season, seems like maybe a forward was kind of what they were missing just a little bit. Not saying he's going to be a starter right away. But if they can develop him well, and he can be as dominant as he was in college basketball, he's definitely going to be a good fit there for the Wizards.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dabonsa as well. I think you just summed it up pretty perfectly. Seems like the right fit and the right guy. A lot of athleticism and size there for AJ Dabonsa. And then number 2, I'll go with my number 2 pick. It's Darren Peterson, the Kansas guard. I think he's going to be very good pick for the for the Jazz. Utah Jazz doesn't have a whole lot going for him. So, I think it's great to get a number 1 option in Darren Peterson.
I would agree. And the main reason why I was kind of thinking maybe he drops down to 3, possibly down lower in 4 or 5, is just because of some of the stuff that happened this last season. You touched on it with the cramps that apparently creatine can create. And I don't know, it just kind of seems like there may be a little bit of what attitude issues. Maybe that's kind of where I'm putting that in the category of, but he's still definitely one heck of a talent. There's no denying that. So I still think he goes number 2.
Number 3, who's your number 3 pick?
Oh man, I just, it was so hard to kind of go through some of this. I think I might go Cameron Boozer here. I'm going to go Cameron Boozer from Duke. He had a really dominant March Madness there all the way up until they were about eliminated. The Boozer brothers, of course, they were doing a lot of good stuff there for Duke. And I think Cameron Boozer is going to be a good fit there.
I'm going to actually switch it up. I'm going to go with his the other North Carolina guy and his rival. I'm going to go Caleb Wilson at the number 3 spot. I think he's a really good fit. He's young, and not to say Boozer isn't a great prospect. He really is. I think he's probably the next pick at number 4. But I'm gonna rock with Caleb Wilson on this one. I think he brings a little more. He's a better shooter. I think his NBA game might translate better than what Boozer's will.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. And I'm actually going to swap you here. I think I'm going to go with Caleb Wilson going there at number 4.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll go Boozer at 4. So who is your last pick at number 5 before we get to our first break here on the Morning Blitz?
So I'm actually going to take a guy out of Louisville. I'm going to go with Mikael Brown Jr. Man, when he's in the zone, really good jump shot. I mean, he's just all over. He actually had a 45-point breakout in February after a back injury dogged him for his freshman year. So he had a really good breakout year, and I think he's going to go at number 5.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the guy who's from Kansas City, actually, Illinois' Keaton Wagler. Great year this year as a freshman. Kind of came out of nowhere. He was only, I think, a 2 or 3-star recruit out of high school. Really was undervalued, and now he ends up going in the top 5, in my opinion, out of Illinois. But that's our top 5 picks here. Me and Lucas, we don't know much about the NBA, but we'll make our predictions here. I think you really can't go wrong with anybody in the top 5, though. It's such a deep draft, one of the best draft classes that really has been there in quite some time. All right, we're going to get to our first break here. When we come back, we will talk to Nebraska baseball player Will Jeske. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on Rocket 102.5 KLOE.
From drive-through banking to mobile deposit, we make it easy to get things done on your schedule. Banking should fit your life, not the other way around. This is Jessica Von Lintel at F&B Bank. Banking made simple.
In a small town, your banker should know more than just your account number. They should know your name. At F&B Bank, we believe in real conversations, friendly faces, and decisions made right here at home. I'm Paige Sneathen, Vice President at F&B Bank, and we're proud to serve your family like our own. Member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas with your morning market update. It's Tuesday, June 23rd in the overnight session. July corn up a penny at 412.5. September up 1 1/4 at 421. December up 1 1/4 at 440 3/4. Soybeans on the July up 3 1/4 at 11.19 even. November up 4 3/4 at 11.46 1/4. KC wheat on the July down 3 at 6.30 1/2. September down 2 1/2 at 6.37 1/2. December down 2 3/4 at 6.51 1/2. Chicago wheat down 1.5 at 5.96. Feeder cattle finished yesterday 371.07 1/2. Live cattle 255.90. Lean hogs 294.60. Crude oil futures down 26 cents a barrel at 73.60. Gold futures down 63 an ounce at 40,118.50. Silver down 363 at 61.95. U.S. dollar index up 28 points at 101.06. Dow futures down 215 at 51,904. S&P futures down 109 at 7,432. If you need to move any cash or want to talk about risk management, you can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Sluter, Tyler Gush, 937-483-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hank or John Styles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
If you want to really protect your corn and soybean acres, you need to take your protection to a whole new level with Elevest Insect Control. Elevest Insect Control provides fast-acting, long-lasting residual and broad-spectrum control of lepidopteran insects and many other pests, including stink bugs. Elevate your ROI, elevate your residual control, and elevate your efficiency with Elevest Insect Control. Visit your FMC retailer or elevest.ag.fmc.com. Elevest Insect Control is a restricted use pesticide. Always read and follow all label directions.
At Thrasher Foundation Repair, we promise you an experience so remarkable, you'll want to leave us a 5-star review. From wet basements to bowing walls, sinking concrete to nasty crawl spaces, whatever your home's facing, you can count on Thrasher to fix it right. With over 34,000 5-star reviews and 50 years as a local family-owned company, Thrasher is a name homeowners trust. Schedule your free home inspection today at gothrasher.com. Thrasher.
It's game time.
What time is it? Game time!
You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
I'm a man on a mission.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz here on Rocket 102.5 KLOE. Garrett, Wellbrock, Lucas, Kenny. Once again, our F&B Bank text line is open, 785-899-2222. We are now joined by Nebraska baseball Will Jeske. Welcome to the program, Will. Happy to have you here.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, I first want to ask, what should we call you position-wise? It seems like you played everywhere. Do we call you an infielder, outfielder, you even played some catcher this last
I've played it all. They asked me to close a few games this year, and then I also played left bench. So it's been all of the above.
I just want to ask real quick about this last season over at Nebraska. I mean, you guys had an incredible year, hosting, I think it was the first time since 2008 in Lincoln, and just, how was that season? Just going out, you guys had a really good year, even in Big Ten play. And then, of course, obviously might not have finished the way you wanted, but still just an incredible year.
Yeah, it was a historic season for Nebraska baseball. And it honestly started in our first 3 weekends with the level of competition we had. We started in Arizona. I think we went 3-1. Our toughest weekend, I would say, were the next two when we went to Globe Life and then Auburn. Auburn was a series where we went 1-2. We learned a lot about our team and really grew after that. I think we went on close to a 19 game heater, just won 19 straight in a row, and it was pretty crazy. It was nothing like the Walnuts.
So what would you attribute this incredible season to? Was it the chemistry between you guys? Was it the coaching? Was it a mixture of everything? Kind of what would you say is the key factor here from this last season?
I would say it was overall the chemistry. We had a ton of returners come back in our offensive lineup with Josh Overbeek and Dylan Carey, our shortstop. Dylan Carey, a Brooks Wallace finalist at that shortstop position. So he played a pivotal role in how far we went. Mac Moyer, a center fielder, second team All Big Ten, had a really good year. and then just guys that attributed. I had a lot better season this year than I have in previous years, and we had our head coach actually took over our offensive roles in terms of like calling the games and like base running stuff. So yeah.
What kind of was the difference for you in the offseason from last year? You mentioned this was one of your best seasons at Nebraska. Like, what did you do in the fall and maybe even the summer prior to get ready for this year?
Just doing my workups to a T, whether that's just getting in the cages every day, seeing live arms every day. I worked a lot. This sounds crazy with a psychologist, just working on like pitch recognition, and it sounds crazy that he works on pitch recognition, but he did a great job with us in terms of like knowing which pitches could be coming or like a scouting report almost before every game. That helped out a ton, I think, for us. It wasn't really guessing on pitches, but it's more so like reacting to which pitches could come.
Kind of speaking on the same note, a lot of people who don't play baseball may not know this. Baseball is a lot mental rather than just physical. Which, in your opinion, would you say was the hardest this season, the mental side or the physical side?
For me, it was definitely the mental side. I think it was my third week in Auburn where I actually tore my hamstring, and I went pretty mental after that. And that was one of the hardest things I've had to do in my college career so far, is just sit around knowing I could play, but just watching others play while I was hurt. And that's something I had to deal with all year. I actually tore my bicep femoris in my right hamstring, and just trying to deal with that pretty much the whole year. And that was a big mental block for me. But overall physical block, I mean, I felt like it was there. It's just I couldn't compete on the field.
What was that process like when you're hamstring? I remember watching, like, I didn't really know why you were out of the lineup for so many weeks, but then I found out that you had, tweaked your hammy a little bit. What was the, kind of the process like, just trying to get back onto the field after that injury?
Yeah, so right after the Auburn series, we did an MRI, and then it showed pretty much like a clear tear or a partial tear. And it was a 4-week process where I didn't really do a whole lot after that. I would swing the bat occasionally. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the fake hamstrings, but we would attach a fake hamstring to me that started through my ankle and ended closer to my back that we'd attach to my belt. And I would play on that for a little bit, but it was maybe in a bat or two a weekend. And I remember going out to Oregon, and it was a packed crowd Sunday for our nail bite series. Is 1-1 in the series. And I had my fake hamstring on, and this guy out in the stands, I think he maybe had a few too many. Shout out Coors Light. He's like, "What the heck is going on here?" And the whole crowd, I kid you not, just starts going crazy. My fake hamstring ends up breaking. I hit a line drive to center field, and I am hobbling to first base. Probably could have been a double. I didn't make it a double. And just stayed on first. And that was probably one of the highlights of being hurt, which was crazy. You get a pinch hitter or a pinch runner come on, and yeah.
Speaking of highlights, what would you say was your personal highlight from this past season, and what would you say is probably your favorite team highlight from this past season?
Ooh. Personal favorite highlight, I had a go-ahead home run, 3-run home run in the Auburn series on Friday night. I thought that was pretty cool. I did a little stomp on home plate and then a victory dance at the end. Overall team highlight, I think hosting a regional was probably one of the coolest experiences I've been a part of in terms of Husker baseball. First time hosting since 2008. About 9,000 fans cheering you on, and it was a night game versus Ole Miss. And one time I was up to bat, and we have pitch comms that we use, and I couldn't even hear the pitch comm. Like my helmet was shaking of how loud it was. There was runners on first and second, and that was probably one of the loudest experiences it was a 3rd and 10 pretty much inside Memorial Stadium almost. So,
yeah, and you grew up being a Nebraska fan, so just how is that a kind of like a dream come true to play in that environment on that field?
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I had a question in mind here. I can't. Oh yeah. So now that you're in the off season, what do your days kind of look like here? Are you more in a recovery mode right now? Are you definitely back into off season workouts? Are you back right into working? What's it kind of looking like for you right now?
So for me personally, I'm kind of in a recovery mode, just trying to run again, doing all that stuff pretty much all over again from ground zero. A lot of the teams doing off-season workouts and helping out with like kids camps here in town. I have to report July 15th to Corvallis, Oregon. So that will be like a summer ball experience all over again. This will be my fourth time going out summer ball. My first year I went to El Dorado. Second year I went in the Prospect League in Illinois, and then my third year I went to Longview, Washington, which is also in the West Coast League. So this will be my fourth time. I'll be there for about 4 weeks before we start back up with fall ball.
Shout out El Dorado. Me and if people don't know, me and Will played together. That's how we met. We were roommates for the El Dorado team. So it's pretty awesome to have you on once again. Will Jeske, our guest here, Nebraska baseball on the Morning Blitz. Yeah, you're talking about the trip out to Oregon. What kind of excites you most about that? And is that just kind of a shortened season? Is it like a month you're going to be out there?
Yes, correct. So I'll be out there for a month, and I'm just excited to almost just hit again, meet some new players. It's always fun when you go to summer ball and meeting new guys, like especially like when we roomed together. I mean, those were some fun times, and driving to the ballpark together. I mean, that you can't beat that. Sometimes you get lucky with the host family. I think that year we definitely got lucky with host family. Last year was a host family for sure. I mean, we had 6 kids, 2 rooms, no AC, one bathroom, so we're all sharing the bathroom. It was really awkward when I had to shower with another teammate last year, but it's part of the experience.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. So what is your day-to-day kind of look like during the season? I'm kind of curious. So I went to Cloud County Community College, and I knew a lot of those baseball guys. Really good program down there, but their day-to-day was pretty hectic. I mean, they practiced morning, they had to diet, things like that. So what does a day-to-day kind of look like for you during the season?
Day to day for me is I like to start my morning early. We have a nutrition table here in Nebraska that we're very fortunate by, and we have to attend breakfast. It's almost like I get to actually. We get to attend breakfast. So we go to breakfast, and then I am currently enrolled in finance classes. So I'm working on my business finance degree. So I usually had 1 to 2 classes. Usually went from 8:30 to 10:30 or 8:30 to 12:30. So it all depended on that. And then right after that, I spend the rest of my days pretty much at the field, getting my workups in. And then if we had practice, it would be kind of like a lighter practice in season. And then if we had a game, I would do all my workups, maybe go home for about 30 minutes, take a 30-minute nap, and then from there on out, it's game time. But it really wasn't too chaotic. I mean, you can make it more chaotic if you have some kids on our team had 3 classes, and like that during a season that's not fun.
Yeah, and right now, I kind of want to ask about right now. Before you go to Oregon, are you able to use any of the Nebraska facilities for workouts, or is everything kind of on your own?
We're able to use a lot of our facilities right now. It's always tough with football. They have most of our indoor facility in terms of our indoor football unit, but we have all of our baseball facilities, and on top of that, we get our breakfast and lunch pretty much covered. So they do a great job. I think it's by Flick. It's some company. I mean, they kill it, and they make, I mean, everything to a T.
So a bit of a more fun question as we are approaching our time here. You pregame, obviously everybody has some sort of song or artist that they like to listen to. Who is your go-to artist, or what is your go-to song?
Ooh, that's a good question. When you said pregame, it scared me a little bit. I didn't know didn't know what you meant by that. Pregame song. I will say my walk-up song is "Your Love" by The Outfield. I got that from Charlie Blackman.
Yeah.
I'm a big, like, everybody thinks, oh, you got to listen to like rap, all that stuff. Well, I'm a big like country girl, shake it for like something like that. But you could go like First Day Out, Dreams to Nightmares, something like that. But
Pretty good songs. Pretty good songs. Real quick, last question before we send you off here. The Nebraska team, you're losing a lot of guys, a lot of seniors, because you mentioned a lot of returners from last year. What should we expect for Nebraska baseball? I doubt you really know much about who's coming in, but just some of the guys that will be possibly returning, and then maybe some connections you might have. What should we expect in 2027 for Nebraska baseball?
I think we'll definitely have that team chemistry back, led by our coaches. I mean, our coaches do a phenomenal job with recruiting. I've met a few of the guys who have came in. I want to say we have 26 incoming new guys. I could be well wrong of that, but our coaches do a great job in terms of recruiting and getting the right guys to come here. And it all starts with day one with the buy-in, and that team camaraderie starts day one. So just excited to meet those new guys, and yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Will, for joining us here this morning. We're going to have you on sometime again later on when baseball season maybe is in session or approaching. Yeah. But once again, thank you for joining us here this morning.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Nice meeting you, Lucas.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Will Jeske of Nebraska baseball. Once again, thank you, Will, for joining us. We're going to take a break. We're going to have our final segment. I think we're going to skip Trivia Tuesday. We're going to move that. We'll call it Trivia Wednesday. We'll probably just move that to tomorrow. Got some things to hit on when we come back. This is the Morning Blitz.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They eat and have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland is rolling into summer with big offers on new GMCs. Get a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation with $7,000 customer cash with trade-in or 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. Need heavy duty? Get the 26 GMC Sierra 2500 with $1,000 in rebates or 4.9% for 48 months. Plus save on 26 GMC Terrain and Arcadias with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas or online at hurlchef.com. GMC, professional grade.
Bob's workshop roof just gave up. He bought budget steel, and now it's a backyard kiddie pool.
Why didn't I call Van? It's not too late, Bob. Let's raise a real roof. 26-gauge, high-ribbed Morton Tough, like water off a duck's back, or a proper building.
Super Van saves the day again.
Call Van the Super Morton Man, stronger than the storm.
Craving something delicious? McDonald's has you covered. From hot, fresh breakfast to juicy burgers and crispy fries, there's something for everyone, any time of day. And don't forget to try our classic McCafe coffee or refreshing McFlurry. Visit us in Colby, Goodland, Burlington, and Lamar for fast, friendly service and the flavors you love. Drive through, dine in, or order ahead on the McDonald's app. We'll have it fresh and ready. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
What if your soil could work harder without more inputs? Fed and Happy Base Camp is biologically alive, packed with worm castings, minerals, and microbioenergy that builds structure, holds moisture, and unlocks nutrients already in your ground and in the air above. Less waste, more resilience, better yields. Stop farming against your soil. Start farming with it. Fed and Happy Base Camp. Talk to us today and see the difference this season.
Your business was built right here, so was ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors, for neighbors. We know what matters to you because it matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz here on Rocket 102.5 KLOE. Lucas Kenny, I'm Garrett Wellbrock. You can watch the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream as well over on either YouTube, Facebook, or X. And Colin Ray will be in Colby at the Colby Event Center this Saturday. You can get your tickets now at nwksradio.net or come into the radio stations in Goodland or Colby. Once again, it is Ticket Tuesday, so don't forget to come and get your tickets. Let's quickly dive in. We're going to move Trivia Tuesday to now Wednesday. That interview went a little bit longer, so we'll just break down a couple of things here before we let you go on this Tuesday morning. The Royals, they knock off the Rays yesterday 2-1. Another great outing from Michael Wacha. Just outstanding. 1 run in 7 innings of work. 5th win for him. Lane Thomas doubled home a run in the 2nd, and Carter Jensen RBI single in the 5th. Wacha 11th quality start. He's the best right now in the American League in quality starts, and Alex Lange closed it out. What are you seeing out of your Royals right now? They look pretty decent.
I mean, yeah, we had a run like this a little earlier in the season, and it kind of went away pretty quickly. But right now, the pitching's doing pretty solid, especially after that 12-10 Game 3 loss to the Cardinals. But yesterday the bats did just enough, and the pitching did really well. So overall, I'm pretty pleased so far, and hopefully we can keep it going with the last 3 games in the series.
So I don't know if did you see any of the Rockies game last night?
No, sir, I did not.
So they were down 2-0 to the Red Sox going into the 9th inning, and then they had a dramatic rally, and then here is the game-winning hit.
Hitting better than 350 left on left this year, Jake McCarthy. Trying to keep a hit streak alive, too. That would be a great thing. Jake got it out, fair ball. This is going to tie it up. The Trailrunners Garrett. He's going to score out away and left. The Rockies win it. 8 straight hits between the 8th and the 9th. And the Rockies walk off the Bo Sox.
Yeah, so the Rockies finished the game with 8 straight hits. First time a team has done that since 1961 to finish a game. They get 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jake McCarthy's game-winning triple to beat the Red Sox 3-2. That's kind of the story of the Red Sox season, isn't it? They just can't find any ways to get out of their own way.
Yeah, for sure. What a perfect hit though, right down the third base line, and what a really nice hop it got off the wall out there in left field too. So nice job to the Rockies.
Absolutely, they get the victory. They have another game, of course, versus the Red Sox tonight. Sean Sullivan gets to start facing Sonny Gray. That is 6:40 Mountain, 7:40 Central. And the Royals, Luander Avila on the mound for Kansas City, going against Shane McClanahan. You can catch that on 790 KXXX. First pitch at 5:40 Central, 4:40 Mountain. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And Matt lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Well, big news. We talked about college basketball earlier in Michigan and winning the national championship. Well, their head coach is now gone. He has left for the Dallas Mavericks, making the jump to the NBA. When I first saw this news, Lucas, I remember the last time a Michigan coach made the jump, this time to the NFL, in John Harbaugh, and made me wonder, is there some cheating going on in Michigan? Because last time the football coach did it, we found out that they were stealing signs.
Yeah, well, you got to kind of think that in your head maybe, and it hasn't quite worked out the best there for John anyways. So, I mean, the Chargers haven't been bad by any means, but playoffs-wise, definitely nothing great. So we'll see if maybe it's I bet that was some karma there for John, but we'll see how Dusty May does here in the big leagues.
And then some big trade news in Miami. So in the hockey realm of things, Brady Tkachuk gets traded from the Senators to the Florida Panthers, which is a big news in the hockey realm of things if you follow that at all. And then, of course, last night, breaking news at about 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Mountain Time. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be joining the Miami Heat for a slew of picks, and then Tyler Hero, Jamie Jaquez, and a couple other role players from the Heat. What did you think of that trade?
It's going to be weird seeing Giannis not on the Bucks. I mean, Miami definitely making some moves. Giannis the last few years, I mean, hasn't quite been his super dominant self, but still a really tremendous player, really great length. What a freak athlete he is. So I think he's going to do some great things there for the Heat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be weird, but it seems like that was a trade that's been a long time coming. He's been asking out for quite some time. All right, that'll do it for us this morning. Lucas Kenny, I'm Garrett Wellbrock. Thanks for watching or listening on Rocket 102.5 KLOE. This was the Morning Blitz.